Hi, my name's Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a tag video mainly because I was thinking about the Wayward Children series by Seanan Mcguire and I realized that it's perfectly set up to be a tag video. So I'm going to make one. Basically, I'm going to go through all the worlds that we get introduced to during the Wayward Children series and give you a prompt for each one of those worlds. Now, if you haven't read the Wayward Children series, basically, you should. It's set in this world where children have gone through doors like Alice in Wonderland did, or like the children did in the Narnia series, and then they've ended up coming back through their doors to Earth, and they're not doing very well at adjusting. So there's this home for wayward children set up where these children can come and either readjust to Earth or wait until they find their way back through their doors to the worlds that they love. So let's get into the prompts. First prompt is for the Halls of the Dead. So this is a world where Nancy goes and she just stands still most of the time and she loves it. So for this I want a book where nothing really happens but you enjoyed it anyway. Now I really like plot driven books, so this was hard for me, but the best book on my shelves that I could find was Whale Rider by Belyrekka. That is terrible pronunciation, I'm very sorry, but Whale Rider is kind of a classic New Zealand book following this girl about her relationship with her grandfather. Nothing really happens except like relationship-y stuff, some whales getting beached, but it's still really great and I enjoyed it a lot. The second world is Confection, which is the world that Sumi goes to, and it's basically a world full of candy and sweet things. So for this I wanted a book with a really sweet character, and for this I was going to go with Imogen from Invictus by Ryan Groudon. I read this really recently and I loved it so much. In fact, I had to return it to the library, but I have ordered my own copy because I know that I will want to reread it at some point, or that I will want to lend it to other people and force them to read it. Basically, it follows a bunch of time-traveling thieves who go back and steal artifacts just before they're due to be stolen. And Imogen is the sweetest character. She's just so lovely and funny, and every day she chalks her hair new beautiful colors. She has the silliest romance going on. She has this pet red panda. She's just lovely and I love her. So the third world is the Moors, which Jack and Jill go to. It's a wonderful dark place that's talked about in the second book, Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and the two of them end up getting split between a vampire and a mad scientist. So for this I wanted a book with morally grey characters, and I chose Vicious by V. Schwab because this is the best book for morally grey characters. V. Schwab specializes in morally grey characters, but Vicious is just great because it's never really clear which side is on the right. We basically follow Victor and Eli both at university when they're studying extraordinaries, who are people with extraordinary abilities, and also later when Victor has gotten out of prison and he's coming for Eli and you're not really sure why. This is one of my favorite books, so if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. Alright, so then the fourth world is Mariposa, or the Country of the Bones, which Christopher goes to and comes away with it with a flute that he can play to rise the skeletons out of the ground and make them dance. So for this I wanted a book where someone comes back from the dead, and I chose American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This book follows a man called Shadow who gets out of prison. His wife is now dead and he discovers that she's had an affair, and he's trying to work out what to do with his life now, and then he gets wrapped up with the American Gods. A lot of craziness happens in this book, like it gets really over the top crazy, but I especially enjoyed when the person gets brought back from the dead. Just the details and the setup of how they act was very unique and I loved it. The fifth world is Prism, which is the world that Cade goes to, and when he gets there, they are disappointed that he is not the girly girl that they were expecting, and so they send him back, which is kind of a shitty move in my opinion. So for this, I want a book with gender diversity in it, and I have decided to go with this book, which is really hard to see. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. So in this book, there's basically a man from Earth has gone to this planet to try and say, hey look, we've got all this technology, we could help you, but he really struggles to understand the people because they're very different from Earth. They really don't have gender as such, or more the people of this planet just take on whatever gender they feel like, and even when it comes to mating and giving birth, they'll just take on whichever gender. And the man from Earth ends up having feelings for one of these aliens, and he gets very confused about it, but he's also just very confused about everything and gets wrapped up into all sorts of political confusion. It's really good just from like a plot and action point, but also from like a gender theory kind of perspective. Alright, then the sixth world is the Trenches, which is the world that Cora goes to. So Cora is one of the main characters in Beneath the Sugar Sky. She has permanent green hair from her time as a mermaid. And for this, I want a book about mermaids. I have hardly read any books about mermaids, but I love mermaids and I want to read more books about them. So even if you don't do this tag, please let me know about any mermaid books that you know. But for me, the only one I can really think of is just a short story that I read as part of the Carney Punk anthology. And this is, in fact, a short story by Seanan Mcguire, so it's especially appropriate for this tag. I think it was called Daughter of the Midway, the Mermaid, and the Open Lonely Sea. Basically is about this girl who's part of a circus. Her mother is a mermaid, but as a mermaid she pretty much just forgets everything, so this girl is trying to resist the change to become a mermaid, but a whole bunch of craziness happens in such a short story. I really loved it, and I wish that it had been more than a short story. So the seventh world that we learn about in the Wayward Children series is Webworld. Don't remember the name of the girl who went there. I don't even know if we find out, but basically she's able to see like tiny details after being in this world. So what I want for this is a book with very detailed world building. And of course for this I would have to go with the Mistborn trilogy. I have this in a box. You can't take them out. That's why I have to hold the whole box. You can take them out. It's just much more effort than I'm willing to do for a video. But the Mistborn trilogy, most people know what this is about. It is set in a world where people can consume metals and use them to gain different powers. Different people have the ability to use different metals, and the Mistborn can use all the metals and gain all the powers. But there is also so much more going on in this world than just that. That is like the smallest slice of what's going on in this world. And every book completely changes everything that's going on. So the amount of detail in these books is just amazing. So I don't know how to say the name of the eighth world. It's something like Belyrekka. This is one, I think her name is Italia, goes to. We don't learn much about it other than it is a water world, there's turtles, and it seems like a pretty dark and vicious place because Italia, is that her name, is a bit of a bitch. So for this, what I wanted is a wicked woman from a book. And I decided to go with Wicked by Gregory Maguire and Elphaba, who is the Wicked Witch of the West. So the Wicked series, if you don't know, is a retelling of The Wizard of Oz. And the first book, Wicked, is basically the life story of the Wicked Witch of the West, and it tells you how she became a Wicked Witch. and how some things from the Wizard of Oz story might not be entirely true. It's a book that I really enjoyed, although it's been a long time since I read it. But Elphaba is definitely a wicked woman, since she is the Wicked Witch of the West. Then the last world that is mentioned in the Wayward Children series is our own world of Earth. So it is mentioned in the third book that some people from the other worlds might sometimes find doors through to Earth where they would enjoy themselves. So for this, I want a book that makes you think that staying on Earth might not be so bad. And for me, I had to go with Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I think it's hard to talk about this book without spoilers. I say this every time I bring up this book, which is a lot because this book is one of my favorites. But one of the themes this book kind of explores is the potential, how your choices might potentially have impacted your life, and how there's just so many different factors that could have led to your life being different, but that kind of makes where you are right here, right now, more special. And that even if you're not entirely happy with where you are right now, that doesn't mean that you would be more happy in a different situation, because normally when you make a decision there's a trade-off, and so to get something better you might have to give up something great about your life right now. So I think this kind of makes me appreciate the things that I have and not focus so much on the things that I don't have. So that's my Wayward Children's tag. I would love it if you would like to do this. I don't really like, I know this is against the whole way that tags are meant to work, but I don't really like to tag people specifically because I don't want you to feel obligated to do my tag or to do any tag. But if you would like to do this tag, then consider yourself tagged. And please let me know down in the comments if you do this tag, because I especially would like to know about whatever mermaid book you recommend. But I would just like to hear about what books you have to recommend in general. So I guess thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.